Hello everyone, John Trigger 12 back here again with another episode of John Trigger 12's Comic Book Reads. If you're a first timer to my channel, John Trigger 12's Comic Book Reads is essentially I randomly choose a comic book and or graphic novel from my collection that ranges from the Silver Age to the modern age of comic books, and I read it and or review it for you guys and hopefully suggest new up-and-comer comic book readers and or artists and writers to check out the source material, because it's one thing to watch the movies, it's another thing to get in touch with your source material. But seeing as how the big thing today is like reboots and specifically sequels to the Predator franchise, I thought why not be appropriate to pull out a Predator comic. Yes, and as a side note to all that news, because I know I haven't really technically made a video on it, surprising, yes I know, but it's because I'm not really fond of the idea of there being a reboot and or sequel to the Predator franchise. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but I actually really enjoy Predators, and I think that sequel, I mean, that film is definitely worthy of being called a sequel and definitely deserves its own sequel. So I really don't know what's the thought process with that film or the project that they're trying to accomplish. Obviously, Shane Black is going to be supposedly aligned to write and possibly direct the film, which doesn't really make that much sense. I mean, no offense to him. I mean, like, I'm not really one of those guys who likes to bash other directors that much, but I don't know, like, I'm not the biggest Shane Black fan, and I personally find some of his films to be kind of overrated, so I don't know, that's just my personal idea. And plus, I don't know, I don't really think the Predator franchise needs a reboot. I mean, like, it's not really that long of a franchise, and you know, I mean, like, it's had its days and its ups and downs, but does it really need a reboot? And I know there's been people saying like, oh well, it's not a reboot, it's a sequel, but it's the same shit. I'm pretty sure the sequel is going to be the complete opposite of what the Predator franchise is all about. So that's just my personal thoughts on it, but let's get right down to the comic book. Today I'm going to be reading the official prequel to Predators. Yes, the Dark Horse Comics Predators comic book series. It's a 4 comic book issue, and I have issue number 4. The last of the issue, which obviously, if you guys want to get in touch with Predator books, it's obviously your best interest to go check out Dark Horse Comics, because obviously the main thing is obviously Hellboy comics, but not only that, they do a lot of comic books that are based around movie franchises like Star Wars, Indiana Jones, RoboCop, Terminator, and of course the Aliens and Predator franchises. So of course, if you guys are fans of all that, definitely go to Dark Horse Comics. But let's get right down to it. This book is separated by 2 parts, of course by 2 stories, which is titled Welcome to the Jungle and of course The Predator's Life, done by Mark Andrevko and Gerheim Balby. I'm sorry, I'm terrible with names. And of course David Lapham and Gabriel Guzman. They're the writers and artists of this book, and personally, the art is pretty good. I mean, like, Dark Horse Comics is known for their artwork. It's also just really awesome, and of course, this is set in the time between the Predators storyline, right prior to the events of Predators. So, of course, if you've seen Predators, then you're going to understand everything that happens in this book. But it starts off right off the fact with a survivor from, you know, the parachute scenes, and of course he comes across this a classic predator stuck in a cage, a wooden cage, mind you. For obviously he may have found him and captured him himself, but he just has this scene where he's just talking to the predator, which is weird. I never found like talking to a predator like that much sense, you know, like, what are you doing talking to a character that doesn't really make much sense? Like, the Predator was never meant to be a talking character, so I don't ever understand when like human characters talk to predators. I never understood that. It just never made sense to me. But he's talking to him, he's having a conversation about him, and of course he's using him as a setup, as a sabotage test, capturing the berserker predators, obviously, like Mr. Black and all that stuff, which come over to attack the survivor, and of course has this all-out battle with them. He obviously is completely outmatched, and of course right off the bat gets captured. There's also a really cool, nice panel where he gets bitten by one of the predators, which is really cool because you rarely see that predators biting each other, because you would imagine with those tusks and those mandibles that it would like fucking hurt, and just imagine. It just looks cool and badass. But he just lights up a flare and just like fucking kills the predator with fire, and the berserkers come in to take out the classic predator, as if you will, who's completely naked, which also is weird, and just gets completely beaten to death by the berserkers. And Mr. Black, of course, in camouflage mode, obviously comes to disarm and beat the living shit out of the human survivor. And obviously they have this little scene, and once again the predator talks. Why do they keep doing that? Why does the predator talk? Why is Mr. Black talking? We don't understand what they say, so what's the point of letting them talk? But I guess it's just to make you know that yeah, the predator is communicating with the humans. So, but it doesn't make any sense. But nonetheless, right after talking in a language that does not make any sense to us, Mr. Black obviously blasts the dude right in the chest with his cannon, and of course he dies. It just fades to black. And of course 2 weeks later we come to a scene where more survivors come and find him, which is continued with the movie adaptation. Of course, as you all know, if you've seen the movie already, then you already know that in the film, obviously all the survivors, like all of them, find like various bodies around near like booby traps and stuff. So this relates to that. But then you parallel with a new story, which of course starts with Adrian Brody's character, Royce, I think was his name, where he's in battle. Of course, he's Black Ops, so he's, of course, I think I forgot where he said he was at prior to the events in Predators. I think he was in Africa or something. I don't remember. He was in somewhere that's fucked up. But he's having this battle in the jungle. He's shooting a whole bunch of dudes. He's just killing bitches. And then there's another sequence where he has an inner monologue with himself, I guess, if you will. And in the background, you see the tracker predator ready to jump on Royce, which is quite awesome in and of itself. But that's pretty much it for the entire prequel, issue number 4 of Predators. And honestly, as I say with all my comic book reads, I don't do ratings and to any of the reviews or reads to the books, because I don't really think rating a comic book does it justice. You have to read it to really get inspired and really get into the lore and fantasy of a comic book. And that's just me. And personally, with all my comic book reads, I also suggest everyone to go check it out. I'm pretty sure you guys can find this anywhere. If you're a Predators fan, or a Predator fan at all, or a Dark Horse fan, definitely go and pick up this series, because it's definitely good. The artwork is great. The cover art is really awesome. It looks really fucking badass. And obviously, if you're a fan of Alien and Predator comic books, this is the comic book for you. It's entertaining, it's fun, it's cool, the artwork's great. Mr. Black's in here, and we all know how much Mr. Black is badass. So if you like him from Predators, you're gonna like this book. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope I encourage people to go check out not only Predators, the prequel book series, but obviously Dark Horse comic books, because even though Marvel and DC are like the emperors of comic book films and comic books in general, there are other great comic book creators out there and manufacturers like Dark Horse. So of course, go check them out. But that's going to be it. Hope you guys enjoyed, and this has been John 12.